Welcome to fabulous Efteling in the Netherlands. For me, this is where it all started. My first visit here was 1977. So today we're going to show you the real heart of this park. It's a deep fantasy themed park, some great roller coasters. We'll also show you what's new for 2025. It's some major new attractions, brand new hotel, and of course they've relaunched Dance Macabre, which is a massive dark ride. We'll try and get you on there with the camera. Join us. So we're going to start off over here at the Baron 1898. This is one of their newer coasters. It's a full-on drop coaster down into the smoke. Bit of a hooligan, this one. Okay, so we now come to Symbolica, another new dark ride, which not only is an awesome ride, it forms the new centerpiece of the park. A bit like Disney's Tower, a little bit more Arabian. See if we can get this camera on for you. So this one's been up a couple of years now. It was a grand opening. Took quite a long time to pull it all together, but it's got 3 different rides on one. You kind of pick your category. Not sure which one we'll pick today. We've been on them all already this week, but I should leave that to Madam.
Wat een saai boel. Wat doe jij hier? Ik heb een veel leuker idee. Geen audiëntie, geen regels, maar... Laat één ding heel duidelijk zijn. This is as far as you'll go. Stop this!
we are, Dance Macabre, Efteling in Holland, brand new ride. Join us. So they've renovated the entire area. It's been levelled, including the Black Cat there, the new shop. We are quite big fans of the old Dance Macabre, so we were a bit nervous about what they do with this. And we've ridden this a few times through the week. We can report back. It is awesome. I'm going to try and get the camera on. It's pretty dark, but it's worth actually sticking with the dark shots because of the sound effects. Monsters going across the roofs and wings flying. Very dramatic. They've kept the music. But look at this, what a job they've done on it. It's actually worth watching in the queue line as well. You actually weave your way through a graveyard and they put monsters out in the woods and all sorts, and a cracking shop at the end. So let's go and join the queue, sit back and enjoy. So queue's giving us 13 minutes. Let's see.
Eeuwenoude huisgebouw bevindt u zich tussen de slapende ruïnes van de abdij van Kapelle van Kaatsheuvel.
Wow, how was that? Incredible. I'm not sure how much of it would have come out. It is quite a dark ride. I can't exactly have a light on, but you get the atmosphere, the music, etc. Have a quick look through the shop. Well done, Efteling. That is a sterling effort. That's world class. And we've seen some new additions to Europa Park over the months, but this definitely keeps up with the game on the European parks. I hope you've enjoyed our ride on that. This is going to be in the main video, but I'm going to lift it out as a short because a lot of people are interested in seeing what this is all about. There's not much out there in English, so I thought I'd give you a tour while we're over at Efteling. Another new addition to the park in recent times has been Max and Moritz, which is an alpine themed family coaster which has two trains going in reverse directions, both of which pick up speed on the second round. It's quite a good roller coaster, this one. I'll get you round onto the front of it.
Hallo, ein Stückchen Papier bitte. Hallo, hallo, oh, danke schön.
And after you've put your liver back in place, you might want to come round to the lake, enjoy a nice serene boat trip. This is the original park. We're going to take you around later to the enchanted fairy tale woods dating back to the 50s, some of it there. This is kind of what I remember when I first came in 1977. Just the lake and the woods and somewhere for a coffee. Join us at the end of the video. We're also going to show you the brand new Aquanura, which is a water, light and music show which closes the park. And later on we will definitely get you up onto Dance Macabre. I'll get you some shots of the outside of that in a moment. Also forgot to mention we're on the last 2 days of Winter Wonderland here, so we've got the full Nordic village which we'll get round to, complete with ice rink, open fires and many places to have mulled wine. And this is Anton Pieck Place. This is the guy that did most of the original artwork for most of the original rides. We'll have a quick swing round his square and then we'll just duck you into the museum. You can see some of the original art. Last time we came here, last January actually, we were since come December, January, and it's a bit quieter. It actually snowed. This entire square was just wiped out. Obviously it's artificial most of the year, but we got it for real. Absolutely stunning. everywhere around the park. These were the originals. They've been copied in a lot of theme parks.
Papier.
Asking for paper here.
Papier.
You put your paper in and it goes burp. Thank you very much.
Papier. Hier. Papier.
Probably dates back to about mid-1950s, this square. Another thing you have to do, it's the rules. You have to visit the Golden Goose. Put your €2 in, or now you can go contactless and you get your golden egg. Prices are normally quite good. I think this is one of the oldest, apart from the big indoor carousel, which we'll show you later, which is, I know for a fact, that's back to the 50s. Absolutely charming around here. So let's go in the museum. I won't take too long in here, just show you some of the old stuff, some of Anton Pieck's artwork, and the place where old ride theming comes to not die, but to be remembered. That's an original. I won't go through them all, but it's a lovely way to spend half an hour in here. Very old one. Okay, the light's pretty dim in here, but I'll try and get you some. These are all off the old rides as they've been retired. All the masks, very spooky actually. Original boots. Around here is a map. I had a chat to the guy yesterday. This is from 1972. This, bear in mind I was here in 1977. This is kind of how I remember it. Just the woods, a lake, carousel, somewhere for a brew. Okay, this is definitely in my top 3. Our top 3 rides in the park. Villa Volta. Been riding this for many years and still can't work out how it actually works. So we're going to take you on ride on this one, see if you can figure it out. It's a bit unusual, this one.
De kapeldeur, gouden kelken en zilveren kandelaars voor het oprapen. Met deze gedachte randen we de deur. Geen mens, op het altaar glinsterde de buit.
Any idea how that worked? The whole villa, room, everything. Round and up and down and back to front. Have a look at the lady up the top. Actually moves, and at night there's a projection show on the front of this. And you see the ghosts coming down through the windows. New for later in 2025 is this beauty, the brand new Efteling Hotel. We actually watched that top cap in the middle being put on there day before yesterday. I'm sure it's going to be up there for many decades, but it looks magnificent. They've just unfurled this end. This was all covered yesterday, so you can see they're really starting to get the finishing touches in. I'm sure there'll be some magnificent themed suites and restaurants and bars and all sorts, but I'm afraid that'll be the next visit. This will be the new vista as you enter the park later in the year. Obviously the iconic thatched towers, they're under refit for the shop. And you get an idea of the scale of this hotel. Very much in keeping. I'd like to see them do more with this magnificent theatre. They do the Caro shows off season, like now Saturday night and Sunday night. I think it's €12.50 if you stay here and about 27 if you're off site, but we have done it, we've been in there. It is glorious. There's a restaurant and a bar. And look at that, it's that amazing. Now I know it's wet and I am avoiding the puddles like the sign says, but don't need to be maybe quite so brash. Now we come over to the Arabian section, home to one of our other top 3 favourite rides, Fata Morgana. It's a dark ride. It's probably their take on Pirates of the Caribbean, etc, etc, but the Dutch being the original pirates, I think they've done a better job. See what you think. no visit complete without going in to the 1001 Nights gift shop. One of the better ones, actually. Very in keeping. Don't normally see my face, but I'm in one of those. Back into the old part of Efteling. You can see the hotel in the background. And this was the original pavilion when I was here in 1977. This was the only place out onto the lake. And we just filmed the train peddling trains, which I remember. And this is also a pretty good go-to for food and drink, the Cash Bar. Quite a good buffet. It's fairly rapid as well, especially on a busy day. You can generally always get a table and get served pretty quickly. I'll give you a quick swing round. This doesn't make you hungry, nothing will. Too early for my lunch. So this is another relatively new one. This is Sirocco. This replaced Monsieur Cannibal, for those of you old enough to remember. It's a really good ride. It takes you on a merchant ship on a storm and makes you feel sick as a parrot. See if we can get on it. Well, that did the job. I now feel sick as a parrot. Brilliant ride though. Okay, to continue with the Let's Make Ourselves Feel Sick theme, this is the Rock. This is their dark roller coaster, recently refitted. Haven't been on it this visit. I hope you enjoyed me filming the complete darkness. It was ever so dark, very fast, and now I feel double sick. So this is the oldest part of the park. This is where it all started. This is the Laugh Land, where the Laugh people live. If you want pure fantasy and what most theme parks around the world have copied, this is from the 50s. This is really charming. My shadow seems to be in every shot, apologies, but the sun's behind me. This is the old schoolhouse where the Laugh children come to learn. Still decorated for Christmas. And it's obligatory to ride the snails. It doesn't matter how old you are. It's also the best way to see this Laugh Land. It's where the Laugh people make their bread. Okay, guilty pleasure time, stroke secret. There's musical stairs here, and one of them goes. Oh no, how old am I? Here we go, let's see if I can find it.
Lekker warme chocolademelk. Lekker warme chocolademelk.
Oh dear.
Told ya.
Oh.
I'm far too big to be in here.
Papa, kijk de glijbanen. Zo zijn er daarheen.
This is new, the Lemonade House. making lemonade. And of course my favourite, beautiful this one, this is the brewery. Hence, down in the corner there is the drunk man asleep. I think this was one of the first ones here. Everyone's drunk. I think this is the nursery, if I remember correctly. A bit creepy. So as we exit Laughland through these gates, this little piece here, I believe, is the oldest part of the park. I do remember this from the 70s, believe it or not. So everything over the back there, all new and additions over the decades. And I'll show you, I think, the original papier here. So Efteling, never get rid of this. This is an original piece from the 50s. So over the back here, just past Villa Volta, we have Raveline, which is enormous. Unfortunately, off season, the show doesn't run. But it's a free show. Very much medieval horses, but the size of the village inside is quite something. You see the tower in the background, that's the back of it. And at night this is all full of smoke. And and you can have dinner in here. It's like a medieval banquet dinner. I'll show you the main entrance. It is spectacular. It's always a shame in deep winter like now when it's not on. We've done it many times, but obviously if you're planning to come away from the cold season, this is something you'll thoroughly enjoy. And no visit would be complete without a visit to Polly's Kuchen for a pancake. Not only is this an incredible experience, handmade pancakes of all descriptions, but it's got some of the best animatronics you'll see in any of the restaurants. I'll see if I can sneak past and get some footage. Nice man let me in. Look at the pancakes. It's one of the few places that's got an actual bar. I'm going to see if I can get the cooker going at full tilt. It goes crazy around the front. Okay, so this brings us to the second oldest part. These are the enchanted fairy tale woods. So, as this is quite a big shot, I'm going to take us round. I'm going to actually cut this to some music. It is a voyage of discovery. I've been coming here for nearly 50 years and I still get lost in here. So enjoy. The little animatronics as you go around are sound activated, so if you honk the horn, things do things. I managed to squeeze on this car and I've got no idea how I'm going to get out. So as we come over the back of the park towards George and the Dragon, we enter the naval style bit. Now this is closed up for winter. It's actually having a bit of a refurb, but it's generally closed at winter. This is the Flying Dutchman. It's a wonderful water roller coaster, bit of a splash flume. We'll show you they've drained it for winter, but you can see the tracks coming out. It's beautifully themed inside as well. It really is old school Efteling ride, but we'll have to return in the summer to ride this one many times. So we come over now to George and the Dragon. This is their wooden coaster. What makes this really unique is it's a twin coaster. So there are two cars going at all times and they race. You do actually have a winner at the end, which is quite good fun, and you can go on the blue track or the red track. Now I've ridden many of these wooden coasters, but this one's close to my heart. This, I think, is one of the most fierce old school wooden coasters on the planet, or at least in Europe, maybe not the planet. It's an absolute bone shaker. Now you feel like you're just going to die at every bend. It's that fast. This is relatively new. This is a new area built for the kids called the Nest. Very pirate themed, seeing as we're around by the Flying Dutchman. Obviously we are now in February, so not quite as lively as it is in the summer. But yeah, good area, got a cafe, somewhere you can come and the kids are safe to run around, plenty to do in here. One of the Winter Wonderland squares. Nice, we'll come back when it's dark. We'll try and do the Winter Wonderland shots at night. The main part with the ice rink is further across the park. But again, this is another beautiful area. Part of the original 50s park. And what's also nice here is you've got a circuit train. Goes right around the park. It actually takes you to bits of the park you can't see, so it is worth it. And what makes it a bit special is it's still a real working steam train. Morcha. Last day of January, we're still getting licks of Christmas, still got the Winter Wonderland theme going. And then over here is another papier here, which if you time it right, will break wind. Uses me every time. Now this old building is the old souvenir shop. I'll take you around the back here because there is a poignant part to it. It's actually a really good one. It does a lot of the diorama stuff. But around the back of this old building is the date it opened, 1977, and that was the date of my first ever visit here, and this was brand new. How old do I feel now? And we're going to cover the Fantasy Woods in depth, perhaps in the dark as well, but wanted to come around here, show you the gardens and memorial to Anton Pieck, the main artist. Passed away in 1987, born in 1895 though. Probably why he had such an eye for pure fantasy. And there are multiple features, fantasy, mini rides, all sorts in here. Beautiful koi carp. And the pagoda might give you an idea of the theming for this area. There's a clue as to where a lot of the stories come from. Our friends, the Brothers Grimm. If you've ever read any of their original stories unabridged, they are pretty grim. Bought my partner the book, she was horrified. Come round to the Palace Carousel, which used to hold the theatre. Still do shows in there, they're finished at the moment. Round the back of this, it's an indoor carousel, is an enormous diorama, which is something, I don't know if I'll be able to film it, it is very dark in there. But this was on the map in the museum that was from 1972. I can barely remember this as a child, but it would have been here in 77. It's obviously had a good facelift, but we'll get inside, have a look at this. It's a proper steam one as well. steam and the oils. You can see it in between the ride. This is round the back of the carousel. Imagine these when they used to throw balls in here. And this is actually the ballroom where the diorama is based. Again, it's very dark. I'll have a go. If we can find there's a little bit of history in here that no one ever spots. This is the main East train station, very Parisian inside. We're going to have a little coffee break, see if we can find this little bit of memorabilia. Here it is. Watch my frame rate click out of sight. This is actually just moving around with a flashing light. There's no way my camera will pick this up. There's a couple of decent coffee places here. You can get a beer. Obviously the train platform, and then over the back here's another cafe. So it's always a little bit quiet around here. It's a bit at the far end of the park for most families. So no visits complete without a go on Jokey's Carnival Festival. This is Efteling's take on Disney's Small World. Political incorrectness is still alive and well here. Lots of stereotyping nations. Just be warned, if you laugh you'll go to hell. we head now over to Drumflucht, which is Dream Flights. This is one of the more old original dark rides, very much around Fantasyland, bit of the heart of where they themed their fairy woodlands from. I don't know what year, but I would imagine this has got to be in the 60s.
Want, zo zei hij, daar kom ik nooit. En nooit.
Lekker jongens, hij schiet nou op. Buiten, ik vind het zo lekker jongens, hij schiet nou op.
Op zekere dag was Roodkapje naar haar grootmoeder gegaan, die alleen in een huisje in het bos woonde. Onderweg had ze bloempjes geplukt, terwijl ze zong.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
against the wall.
Maar hier wist ik dus niks van. Roodkapje, ik ben geschokt!
Ja, verrassend.
Goed, maar wanneer geeft iemand eigenlijk een cadeautje?
Weten jullie dat? Wat zit er wel, hè?
Hopla!
Niemand weet dat ik repelsteeltje heet. Niemand weet.
Yeah, I did those.
Yeah, but we have to see it.
No, I'd like to watch it no camera.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're finally here. This is what we came for. This is Efteling's Winter Wonderland. The reason we're here this time of year, my partner does not like to let Christmas go. And this is the last place in Europe I can think of that still has Winter Wonderland stroke Christmas on January the 31st, which is today. Still in full swing. Great place to head for your food and drinks, lots of sideshows, old school, quite easy to win. I've seen loads of people with giant toys. Shows are on in the middle here through the day. We'll head over towards the back past all the shops. We'll show you the ice rink they've set up. Still hasn't defrosted. Good shop here as well, this one. Some great Efteling merch. And a free photo opportunity. You got your phone on you? The Efteling sledge. I don't know what the temperature is, but I just slipped and I'm not even on the ice rink. That wasn't me. There, how beautiful is this for their main Winter Wonderland arena. I highly recommend a Brabantsche Wurstenbrutje. I had one last year. It's like a sausage in the middle of a load of bread, and it's not a sausage roll. I had a chili one. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our tour, massive tour around Efteling. Little secret, we came here for a week. We've been here 3 weeks. We're going home now soon. So we're going to finish up with the Aquanura water and light show. We'll head over there now, you can probably hear it. Just started. But until our next video from a beautiful Efteling, we bid you farewell.